today?
Oh, I just left it all up to Gus. We don't like to fight for.
Branquinho, Luke Branquinho's son. I'm here with Kyle Irwin. So
And welcome back to Rodeo Live. We're at the Calgary Stampede presented by Tractor Supply. I'm your host, Sierra Spratt, and our very own Katy Lucas was able to catch up with a lady that lit up the stage last year at the Calgary Stampede, Leslie Smoligo and Gus. She's coming back to defend her title, and Katy was able to get all the inside scoop. Check it out.
Well, Leslie Smoligo and Gus are trying to defend their title at the Calgary Stampede, but Leslie, you had to work for it. What kind of nerves were you feeling when you walked down that alley today?
Oh, I just left it all up to Gus. We don't like to fight for it. We like a little cushion, but, when Gus knows it's on the line, he performs, and he was in rare form today.
When Trisha and Idios went out and laid down the fastest run. Well, Leslie Smoligo and Gus are trying to defend their title at the Calgary Stampede, but Leslie, you had to work for it. What kind of nerves were you feeling when you walked down that alley today?
Oh, I just left it all up to Gus. We don't like to fight for it. We like a little cushion, but, when Gus knows it's on the line, he performs, and he was in rare form today.
When Trisha and Idios went out and laid down the fastest run of the day so far, that meant you absolutely had to place in order to move on. Are you in the back watching that situation unfold at that point?
No, I didn't come over until our drag was up or ready, and Gus is a once-in-a-lifetime horse for me, and he can run with the best of the best. And when he can run with Haley and Sister and Jarvis and Cassie and Trisha and Adios, you're just proud of where you set. And for him to show up today just burst my heart open.
How do you think he was able to edge out just by 1/100th of a second there? What was that special something in the run today?
It was one of those that the barrel gods were with us, and it was just a great day.
They certainly were with you in your fire-breathing dragon today. Compare your pool last year to this year. How did that competition compare for you?
Well, it started out the same. Haley and she won it. I won second. This year it didn't go as planned. I won fourth with a 17-11, and I was like, really? I was like, that usually wins it. And then today, this is the fastest time he's ran. Last year in the showdown, he ran a 94. So, now he's at 93, and let's just hope he gets faster.
So knowing just how hard you had to fight to get back to the showdown round and to the championship Sunday at the Calgary Stampede, how much does it mean to you to know that you've punched your ticket?
It means the world. I'm sitting 16th in the world, so every bit of money helps, and Gus just pulls it out when he knows I need it, and I can count on him. And I'm just so grateful for what I get to do, and my family behind me, my mom and my dad and my husband. They're my biggest cheerleaders, and they're not going to steer me wrong, and whether I do good or bad, they still love me.
Hey, we're grateful to get to watch great competitors like you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, it's always so exciting to watch Leslie and Gus go. I think it's always incredible. She always gets choked up when she talks about him. I'm sure all of those barrel racers just love that horse. I mean, you could tell that she's so grateful for Gus.
I think that's so fun for me to interview the barrel racers because they're so sincere about what it means to get those runs. You know, these aren't machines that they're on. They truly are athletes that they care about, work very hard for. You know, these horses work hard for them, but I think our barrel racers work even harder for their horses. But it's fun to watch a competitor, too. When their back is against the wall, they seem to be able to pull out that extra special something. I think that's the true mark of a competitor. So when Trisha Aldridge forced her to have to place in order to move on, you know, if she didn't win any money yesterday, she wouldn't have moved on. She goes out, wins the day, wins her pool after all of that. So she's got to be feeling pretty good heading into Championship Sunday, trying to defend that title.
Now, I was trying to watch that video closely because do you remember last year when Leslie coming in to today, when she was about to be the Calgary champion, she had a whip in each hand? Do you guys remember that? You got to remember that, Luke.
I don't, actually.
It was crazy. She's calling it the double whip. She said, you know, Gus was getting a little short. I had to make sure we whip him on both sides. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I still remember it today, and I don't know if she had it. Or she's going to have it today, maybe.
I would fall off if I had to have a whip in both hands.
Oh, Gus is a monster, too. She said she had to get on him at the trailer. She couldn't walk him up here before she got on because she said he wouldn't let me if we waited.
Oh my gosh, I love to watch. They're always a little quirky, got some horsepower. And you know, I'm telling you what, the quirkiness in horses, though, that goes into the steer wrestling, too.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and these horses are part of our family. Just like a kid, you know, sometimes you could have to carry your kid up. That's how probably Gus was going up to the arena. But yeah, these horses are something, you know, and for me, Las Tunas horsepower is Tyson. This horse has been phenomenal the last few years. They have won a lot of money on that horse. And it's another Cassidy horse, another great Canadian horse. And you see right here, Tyson, he's three-time another great Canadian horse. And you see right here, Tyson, he's three-time AQHA Horse of the Year, Calgary Stampede 23 with Scott Gunther. And that horse has really helped Scott's career, you know, off and on riding him. Curtis Cassidy, again, the owner, has had
family that has had not one once-in-a-lifetime horses, but two over their careers. And I know they were very different horses, too, even personality-wise out in the pasture. You know, Tyson's named after Mike Tyson because he's the tough man. He, no matter what happens, he's going to push through in a run. He is the boss of the herd. But before Tyson, they had Willie, and he was not the boss out in the herd, but he certainly was in the arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And Willie was one of those horses and just got inducted to the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame yesterday. So very cool. Congratulations to those guys. Willie has won world championships, Calgary Stampede championships. But one of the coolest things I think about Willie, Greg Cassidy won the Stampede back on him. I think he said in 2001 or 2002. And then you could see guys at the national finals. He was just a machine, and he did everything right. And it didn't matter if you were at the national finals where the start was so fast, or you go to Salinas or Fort Worth where the steers were fresh and you had to see it. That horse performed on every stage, and he performed so well. That's why they won so much money on him. He's such an amazing athlete. You can see his stats right there. But one of the most notable, obviously, is World Championships. They've won on him. And, you know, how many trips he's made to the national finals? I didn't even know that number, so I couldn't tell him what to put on.
You know, he had such longevity. I think he even lived out in the pasture, of course, into his early 30s. And I saw a picture of him just a year or two before he died, and he still looked so good, was still muscled up, obviously very well taken care of, and for good reason, too. When you can have multiple guys win world titles on your horse, you've got something special.
Yeah, well, let's talk about muscled up and steer wrestling. We got to talk about Will Loomis.
I thought you were going to say talk about you.
Well, no, that I'm retired. Anyway,
okay.
Will Loomis, let's go there. This guy has been a beast here. He has just dominated his pool, and with hurt ribs. He has separated ribs, torn muscles, and to be able to go back to back to back and rodeoing over the 4th of July with this injury, it did not affect him when it came down to it. But you can see right there, he's a little bit sore, a little bit hurt. He did go down to Sheridan, Wyoming to try to compete. He's like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and VI my second one because I need to get back to Calgary and win a lot of money.
Oh my gosh. And I don't know if he was on your rodeo picks, but I remember in Reno, he took home the championship. I know he was on my team. Was he on your team?
Absolutely. I never pick against Will Loomis.
I definitely agree with you on that one. But let's take a look at the rest of the steers that we're going to see today here. Pool A, Pool B, Pool C. We got 3 coming from each. Luke, when you're looking at these, besides Will, of course, I mean, who are some other standouts that you're like, oh man, I think I could put my money on that?
Yeah, I mean, you could go in each pool. Scott Gunther, he's a champion here. Kyle Irwin's a champion here. It's hard to just pick one guy because they've all had so much success, but look out for Cash Rob.
Well, we do have a fifth member of our team that we are very, very excited to be introducing. We've got Luke Branquinho that was able to catch up with the Sierra that you're going to see today. Kyle Irwin, I believe we've got the interview ready for you right now. Let's take a look. Go ahead, Mr. Bear.
Hi, I'm Luke Branquinho, Luke Branquinho's son. I'm here with Kyle Irwin. So, Kyle, did you like your run last pool?
Yeah, Bear, I did. You know, I was lucky enough to draw 3 good steers, riding a good horse, Tyson, and the guy like your dad over there that you can go visit with about your runs afterwards. It was a successful 3 days, I'd call it.
Yeah, so when I was watching your run, I thought you did really good. How do you think you did?
You know, Bear, I think there's probably some things I could always work on, but one of them, I believe, was just having luck on my side. We'll call it that.
I see a star in the making.
Yeah, he's already starting to take my jobs, which is completely fine. I'll just go ahead and retire and let him take care of me. But, you know, one thing I have to say, I got to give credit to Kyle Irwin. He is so awesome. You know, going into that with Bear and going into any type of, you know, any situation, Kyle is one of those guys that he's so smooth. He knows how to handle any situation. But the other cool thing is when Kyle was winning his pool, his son Tripp was winning, I believe, the 8U Coach Pitch Tournament state championship in Florida. So, I mean, that's just the way Kyle is. He rolls with it. His family's cheering him on, and then he's cheering his kids on. So very cool.
Oh, did you notice how, I mean, he had to reach his arm as high as he possibly could to meet Kyle. That was awesome to see. Thank you so much, Mr. Bear Branquinho. When we come back, we're going to get everything in the rough stock there with Tilden Hooper down there at the end of the desk. He's probably feeling a little lonely by now, but it's going to be his time to shine when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by Hire. History, heritage, and a hell of a comeback. And Folds of Honor. Honor, educate, unite. Rodeo Live is brought to you by Ariat. Ready, set, riding boots and jeans that work as hard as you do.
And welcome back. This is Rodeo Live presented by Tractor Supply of the Calgary Stampede. It's Showdown Sunday. I am your host, Sierra Spratt. Alongside me, we have Luke Branquinho, Katy Lucas, and Tilden Hooper, who is going to be taking it away for all the rough stock breakdown. And I know your RM43 in the weeds is going to be Mason Stuhler and Soap Bubbles.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to talk about Mason, man. He's been hot since the beginning of June. He had a good winter, and you can just tell that confidence has been building right there. He showed up at the Riggin Rally in Derby, and I'm talking about was really aggressive in the way he's riding, and that's why he gets along with this horse Soap Bubbles right here so well. That horse is really strong. Doesn't look like it. You know, she's just bucking around there, but she drops so much that if you don't get that start right and get going with her right out of there, then she's going to jerk you down. And Mason did it perfect. He made it look easy, but I can promise you it wasn't. At the end of the day, like a horse like that, you know if you don't get going with him right there, then he's going to jerk you down. You also know if you don't connect when you do get going, he's going to jerk you down. So you got to have a lot of confidence going whenever you nod to just rip him like he did right there and finish off strong. Way to go, Mason.
Mason definitely did a great job. He's going to be third, advancing from Pool A. He did win round 1 of Pool A with that 88-point ride. Definitely exciting. Currently ranked 24th in the world, but man, there's a lot of money up for grabs.
Yeah, Mason's been riding the hard ones easy, and that's what it takes to go ahead and get over the hump. Like, that's when you know a guy's really got it figured out and he's got the confidence in his corner because, like I said, the horses he got, the one he got on there at Vernal, that should have been first. I mean, I've been the guy that won first when I wasn't supposed to a lot of times. We all have. But Mason, he spurred a really hard horse to ride over there in Vernal, and that's when I watched that on Instagram. I was like, man, Mason's here. He's ready to do this, and I'm excited for him today.
It's going to be definitely exciting. We're going to take a look at the rest of the bareback riders that we're going to be seeing today here from Pool A, B, and C. Everyone that's advancing on. We've got big names like Cole Franks, Dean Thompson, and even Western Timmerman. R.C. Landingham, too, also made a heck of a ride yesterday. I know I saw that.
Yeah, I think you got to watch out for Sam Peterson today. He's got a horse he's won on a couple times just in the last month. And just like I'm talking about with Mason, Sam the other day, he got on a horse called Twin Cherry and won the round, and that's a horse that not a lot of guys get along with. And he's got a couple different trips, and sometimes he has a trip where you can get after him and you have a chance to be 90. He didn't really have that trip with Sam the other day, and he was still almost 90. He was hard. That's a hard one. I've been on him a lot of times, and I haven't got him figured out yet. And when I saw Sam do that, I was like, man, whatever they run underneath him on Sunday, he'll be ready for it. And so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, there's been some big scores and big money. Speaking of, we got to go right into the bull riding here of their next Rough Stock event because we have a couple of bull riders that have taken home nearly $30,000 already, and it's not even Championship Sunday yet. We've talked about Luke Mackey and J.R. Stratford.
Yeah, can you imagine, Luke? Let's get it started. We're going into the short round. We've already won $30,000. Like, there's a lot of money to be won here.
Yeah, and what the crazy thing was doing TV down here in the Stampede, Scott Schiffner's like, hey, have you heard of this Luke Mackey kid? I'm like, no. I call Kai Hamilton, have you heard of him? I'm like, no. And then he comes out and dominates like he did. That is so impressive for a young guy like him. And then J.R. Stratford, he's been doing it for a while. He knows how to get it done.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I think they all like their bulls. I was talking with a lot of the guys last night out at the campgrounds, and it sounds like the kind of bulls that guys can ride. They're maybe a little hard, but the kind that guys can get along with. And, talking last night, I talked to Trey Benton. He said he's got a bull that he really likes, that he's kind of hard, but if he does his job, he'll be back there. And then Wasey Shala showed me a video of his bull last night, and I'm excited to see him on him. I think he's going to pull the spurs and look like a bareback rider out there today.
I would be feeling pretty good, though, if I was already coming in with $30,000. I mean, I'd be feeling all right at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't be? I mean, you want to talk about confidence. When you have that confidence, having that money going into it, makes it a little easier to go compete today, I think, Katie.
Well, and good thing Luke Mackey's a young guy, too, because like we talked about, he did it the hard way. He had to get on 3 bulls in one day. So, maybe some of our older guys, they wouldn't be feeling so rested up heading into 2 bulls, hopefully, for Championship Sunday. But Luke Mackey, I mean, to be able to hold on for those 3 rides back to back to back at the end of the rodeo and then get to win almost $30,000 to do it. I mean, he kind of deserved that 30 grand.
I'd say he earned it. I mean, I feel like everyone did. Now, we don't go anywhere because when we come back, we have a very special exclusive feature with the Hayes family. I mean, this is definitely a family that everyone knows in the rodeo world, but we're going to learn a little bit more about them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by RM43, Serious Weed Control, and Las Tunas, International Horse Breeder.
Welcome back, everyone here watching on the Cowboy Channel and live here at the Calgary Stampede. This is Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. We have a very, very exciting clip to show all of you. Now, in the sport of rodeo, some names endure longer than others. From past legends to modern champions, saddle bronc riding isn't just a sport for the Hay family, it's a birthright. And a bond passed from father to son and brother to brother. Take a look now.
The Hay name means a lot to me. I've come from a family where we have some pretty deep roots in rodeo.
We've all kind of tried to do it the right way, and the code of the West kind of runs deep in our family. Just want to be cowboys and be good at it.
We're one of the famous names in the saddle broncs, just kind of one of the last names where, you know, the brothers got to compete together and be competitive and, you know, both make the finals all together. It's pretty special for that.
The Hay name is legendary in Canadian bronc riding. Rod and Denny Hay set the standard, and Logan and Dawson Hay grew up ready to follow in their footsteps.
Ever since I can remember, rodeo's been a part of my life and something I've always looked forward to. My very first experiences were ever at rodeos. That was our favorite time. I remember watching in the daycare at the NFR. Me and the Wright boys and Dawson and everyone would just be pumped watching, cheering our dads on.
The neat part about rodeoing is it's such a family sport, and we got to take the boys to rodeos.
Rod spent decades at the top of the world standings in the saddle bronc riding, a fixture at the NFR, and an 8-time champion in Canada. He then went on to help his sons acquire the same skill set.
Both of them rode steers a little bit. They both kind of got on their first horses at the same time at a rodeo school. You could tell they both wanted to try it out.
The very first rodeo that I rode at, I broke my arm, and I'm like, gosh. So I got through with that, came back, and my third horse after breaking my arm, I broke it again. And so I was like, this is just ridiculous.
It took us a long time to figure it out. There's a lot of guys that even we started with that picked it up a lot quicker. I don't think we were destined to be. It was just something that we were passionate about, and we really wanted to figure it out.
The Canadian arena record, we just tied it. 95 points, Dawson Hay.
The man that holds the record for the best saddle bronc ride ever. This is Logan Hay.
Once they got going with it, the more they went, the more the determination to become great at it.
Logan and Dawson are on track to create rodeo resumes that run in the family. And there is one rodeo in particular where the Hay family has made history.
The Calgary Stampede it's probably one of the biggest things that happens in Canada.
Calgary's my favorite rodeo. I bet 95% of the people say Calgary and the other 5% haven't been there.
Growing up, it was just a dream to be able to get on there. As a kid, I remember watching my dad win it.
We had an excellent ride by Roddy Hay, and he knows it.
It's one of the toughest rodeos in the world to win. I won it 4 times.
2005, I think, was the last time he won it, and I would have been 8. And I remember me and Dawson were watching it on TV, and I remember he bought us a couple pellet guns after.
17 years later, Logan and Dawson had the chance to leave Calgary with more than a pellet gun. In 2022, the moment that had once belonged to Rod was right in front of his sons. Both Logan and Dawson were 2 of the final 4 in the championship round at the Calgary Stampede.
I didn't even really care how it all went out because I knew one of us was going home with the $50,000.
I was the first out. I knew I was going to have to do something, pretty good if I was even going to have a chance. So I just let it all hang out there.
Riding for the big bucks, and here we go. Beautiful bronc ride by Hay. 89.5 points. Joins his dad now as a Calgary Stampede champion.
I made one of the best rides I've ever made. I beat Dawson by half a point there at the end. There's nothing like when I run across that field when you're going to get on the big stage. That was one of the best feelings ever. I was just thinking, holy cow, I just won Calgary.
That was one of my best days ever, watching them guys win first and second there. Logan won it and Dawson was a half point behind. That was unbelievable.
I remember just thinking that's got to be the coolest feeling ever.
A feeling Dawson would get to experience a year later at the 2023 Calgary Stampede.
He got second the year before, so he came back with some vengeance.
Here we go. Dawson Hay. This horse is getting it on.
He just aced everything. When he gets on a roll, he's pretty tough to stop, but that was pretty incredible.
Your 2023 Saddle Bronc champion, Dawson Hay.
To walk up on that stage and, be another Hay to put his name on the list of champions at Calgary Stampede. I had my daughter, I remember picking her up and walking her out on the stage, and just thinking about how that was me and my dad at one point, 20 years ago or so. It was pretty cool to bring my family up there and have the whole new generation picking up that check.
I was down at the border the next day. I was taking some horses to a rodeo down south, and I was standing in line, and the one lady said, "You must have come from Calgary." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I did." She said, "Did you ride?" I said, "Oh, no. It's been a long time since I've rode there. My kids were riding." She said, "Who are your kids?" "Oh," I said, "It's Logan and Dawson. They were in the bronc riding." And she goes, "Oh, you're the Hay dad." And I thought, "Oh, well." So now I'm the Hay dad. I'm officially retired. So that was pretty cool.
We just kind of, try to make our own path. When it comes down to actually riding broncs, we take it very seriously and just hope we can continue that on.
The Hay name, it means the world to be able to continue that legacy on. I would say maybe some pressure in holding up that name a little bit, but for the most part, it's been more proud to keep the name going at a high level.
I don't really worry about the legacy. That's probably still being written.
So incredible to get a little bit closer of an inside look into that incredible, legendary Hay family. We're not going to be able to see Logan today, but Dawson is going to be here at Championship Sunday. It's going to be very exciting to see. Maybe a 6th Calgary title will be added to that family.
Yeah, you can't bet against Dawson Hay. He's a big-time guy. You get him in front of the big crowd with all the money up, he's going to show out every time. I enjoyed that. That was so cool. I'm big Dawson and Logan fans. Rod was still riding when I first started, and I just love their family. I'm so happy for them. This is cool to watch.
Well, watching that, I reminisced about when I first started rodeo, because Roddy was one of those guys that you watched every time he nodded his head. And to me, he's one of those guys that had never won a world championship, but should have. Yeah. He was that good. And Katie, you being from up here, you know how legendary that family is.
Oh, it truly is legendary. North of the border, south of the border, anywhere you go in the rodeo world, the Hay family name is a big one. And I've been honored to get to watch the boys all the way through their career, too. I saw them get on some of their first bucking horses. I saw them make it to the pickup man for the first time at one of Roddy's clinics. So it's been so much fun to see them not only make it to the pro game, but I think in the last couple of years really sharpen their skills to where they're not just NFR contenders anymore, they're world champion contenders.
Well, we're very excited to see how it all shakes out today. We got all of our qualifiers here up on the screen now. We've got Lefty, Brody, Zeke Thurston, I kind of have my eye on him.
Yeah, Wyatt Casper and Dawson Hay, they got the picks as far as the stock draw is concerned, but you don't bet it against Zeke Thurston anywhere. You especially don't bet against Zeke Thurston here. And he's got a dang good horse, so you could see something big out of him for sure.
I'll be very excited to see how it all shakes up. We got to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have our comeback story with Anita Ellis, and we got the Harris brothers having a little deja vu from Houston going brother v. brother. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by Tractor Supply. For life out here.
Well, we're hopping into the fold with Folds of Honor and Calgary Stampede CEO Well, we're hopping into the fold with Folds of Honor and Calgary Stampede CEO Joel Kelly. Joel, when we look here inside the arena, we think about what happens inside that arena fence, but the Calgary Stampede extends far beyond what we see on Stampede Park, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and we've actually been part of this community since 1884, the same year the town was incorporated. With year-round operation of the park, our convention and event business, it is a year-round business. 2019 economic impact study indicated $540 million of economic impact throughout the year, $282 million that came just during the 10-day festival.
And you couldn't do it without the great people that are behind you as well.
Tremendous staff and volunteers, 3,000 volunteers really conduct a lot of our programming. We have about 340 full-time employees, 900 part-time employees. We ramp up to 4,000 seasonal employees. Most of those are first-time job holders.
And so many foundations that truly do impact the community at large.
Absolutely. We have a Calgary Stampede Foundation, which is our charitable entity, and it conducts youth programming. About 17,000 interactions with youth per year. That includes the 7-time world champion Stampede Show Band, the young Canadians who are the star of the evening show, our show riders, and we host schools throughout the year so that young people can learn about agriculture and history.
Since the beginning, the Calgary Stampede has been known as a forward-thinking rodeo. So where do we push it in the next few years?
Well, we're always focusing on presentation, both in stadium and in terms of our broadcast. And we perform in front of largely an urban audience. And so we have to make sure that we're presenting rodeo in a way that is acceptable and palatable to them. That's why you see the rules exemptions that we have relative to the PRCA.
A lot of growth that we're seeing on grounds as well. Yeah, clear a lot of changes in the future and a lot of growth for not just the arena itself, not just for the rodeo, but for the whole community. So thanks for all you do.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're back here at Calgary Stampede, and Higher Boots, they love a good comeback story, as do we. Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. And our comeback story for the Calgary Stampede is Anita Ellis and her horse, Axe.
Yeah, kind of a little different comeback story. It's not a human comeback story, but rather an equine one. Axe is her sorrel horse that she rode for the first 2 days of competition in her pool, wins both of those go-rounds, but that horse has had to come through a lot. In 2024, the horse presented with kissing spine, had to undergo surgery in February of that year, came back last June, and you know, that injury could have been career ending or at least limiting for that horse. So to be able to go through a surgery like that, come back and not only perform well, but perform at the highest level here at the Calgary Stampede. That's exactly why that's our comeback story.
Oh, it's definitely exciting. And Anita Ellis, kind of what you had mentioned earlier, Luke, you know, she's a name, but she's not quite as well known as some others, you know, and she's coming in right now. She's currently 32nd. However, I feel like she's really making a name for herself right now, especially with that. She broke the arena record there for a minute anyway.
Yeah, and let's just talk about Axe, how great of a comeback story that is. But then getting off of him for the third round and going ahead and winning on, quote, air quotes, backup horse winning the third. Unbelievable. Just a great story.
Yeah, I don't know if Rico ever needs to be a backup horse again when you can break the arena record at a place like the Calgary Stampede, but it was so exciting this year. I'm interested to see which horse she decides to run today. She actually put out a poll on social media asking fans which horse she thinks, or they think that she should ride. Rico is winning. I just double-checked. Rico's winning right now, but you never know. Maybe she'll ride Axe for one, Rico for the second one. We'll see.
So what do you think? We going comeback kid? We going trusty?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever she won, all those things that were on that stat, that's what I'd go with today, because there's no better place to make a name for yourself than the Calgary Stampede.
There you go. You better go vote right now on Facebook. You see, we all know what we're talking about. Let's look at the other qualifiers that we're going to be seeing today. Lots of big names with incredible horsepower. We got Carly Otero, Brittany Posey-Tanazi, Emily Beisel. Again, I mean, all of these people you see, all three of those ladies there have broken the record at one point. And I don't really know who I'm betting my money on right now, Luke.
I'm going to go with Haley Kinsel just because I coach her, so I have to go with that one.
She's feeling really good today. Then you've already checked in with her.
Checked in, made sure I told her she needed to tighten it up from yesterday. It's a little long, so obviously Sister's going to be ready to roll.
Okay, you warmed up Sister for her too, right? Got her ready?
Absolutely, yeah. We're ready to go.
Good.
It's going to be very, very exciting. And we were speaking on horsepower earlier, and you didn't get your chance, Luke, to go over that incredible horse, Tyson's. Let's go over that right now.
Yeah, so Tyson's one of those horses, you back him in the corner, he is so attentive, he pays attention, he knows exactly his job, and you can see him right here. He's focused, facing forward, knows where they want him to break every time. You can see Scott right here, little pull, but Tyson still gives him room right there. The separation is key. You don't want to be too tight, you don't want to be too far away. Gives him a great go right there, and Scott's able to crack that steer's head, get up over the top. But the other thing about him is he finishes strong. He gets through the hole so hard, he lets that cowboy place their feet where they need to place to make a fast run, and we've seen it right there. Again, seeing Kyle Irwin, the separation that Tyson gives him, perfect separation. Kyle's able to reach up there, crack that steer's head, feet placed good because of the strong finish, and that's why Tyson, you're going to see hopefully see Kyle Irwin get some good money on him today.
How important is it for them to be able to push by you like that instead of float along beside you as you're getting on the steer? It's got to be pretty important for them to get gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the older I am, I want them to float by a little bit slower. But, yeah, you want that speed getting by. It helps you crack that steer's head, be aggressive, that head catch, and it helps place your feet, and that's what we see with Tyson.
Horsepower is everything in the steer wrestling. I feel like almost every event, and I'm sure the rough stock as well. Horsepower is definitely important. That was brought to you by Las Tunas. That was our horsepower report. But let's go right in now to the tie-down roping, because I'm having deja vu from Houston. We have brothers going against each other, Joel and Ty Harris.
Yeah, a little different arena, probably about the same size, honestly. One's indoor, one's outdoor, but we saw them perform so well in the same pool. It's kind of risky, I feel like, entering the same pool as brothers. You might want to divide and conquer, but look at them there. Ty Harris, number one with 16,000. Joel Harris, number two with over 13. In some pretty rare company, too. Riley Webb in there in that third place spot. So now that means they are back today to try to get the title.
Yeah, and much like Houston, they're riding the same horse as well. They're riding Peso today, and these two kids obviously grew up together, practiced together. They know every step of the way what it took to get to where they're at today, and we see this at Houston with exactly what happened.
Yeah, this is why we're feeling a little bit of deja vu, because they did the same thing at Rodeo Houston. Both of them make the semifinals. Both of them battle through to get to the four-man. And then what do they do in the four-man? They tie at 8.2 seconds apiece. It was so exciting to watch. Joel was out first. Of course, the lesser known of the two at that time. He hadn't made the NFR yet. He is 8.2. Ty was back-to-back with him. Goes out, ties that time. So at Rodeo Houston, that means they have to have a rope off. And like you said, same horse. He was working hard that day. He made 6 runs back-to-back in the semifinals. We're taking a look at the winning run. Joel went out first, broke the barrier, so Ty just had to put his head down, do his job to win $50,000 at that time at Rodeo Houston. It was such a cool moment, and I think it would be even more neat to see deja vu today.
I can still remember that thinking, have they ever had a rope off? Is that something that they do? Did they come up with that on the spot?
In the practice pen every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at our other qualifiers we're going to see in the tie-down roping. We've got Riley Pruitt, Chad Mayfield. We've got Marty Yates even coming out of Pool C, Tuff Cooper. You've got some veterans, you've got some new guys, but all of those guys know how to rope and tie.
Absolutely, and I'm going to just go ahead and pick Riley Webb. Gotta love the way he's rolling. I mean, that guy's
to jump
stud.
out there.
Yeah, well, I want to get out there before you guys did that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, there's going to be a lot of very exciting things to watch here in the tie-down roping. Now, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we have a very exciting report on Bloodlines here with this incredible horsepower that we've been talking about all day long. That includes the rough stock. We're going to get more into it when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by Ariat. Ready, set, riding boots and jeans that work as hard as you do.
Presented by Tractor Supply. We're getting closer and closer to Showdown Sunday. There's big money up for grabs, but also there's big money up for grabs for those that are just watching it. I'm talking about rodeo picks. Free to play, $10,000 up for grab. All you gotta do is scan that QR code right there, go to rodeopicks.com, pick who you think's gonna win in each event. You get them all right, you get $10,000, but the person who gets the most right, you get a championship buckle. There's all kinds of exciting things to do on rodeopicks.com. Scan that QR code, free to play, big money up for grabs. Make sure to be getting your picks in on Rodeo Picks. Well, it's definitely getting a little more exciting around here. I feel like everyone's thinking, all right, it's getting closer and closer to rodeo time. We're going to see some exciting runs, exciting times, and big rides, because we have to talk about the rough stock events here, Katie.
Oh, well, the Calgary Stampede has always been known for their breeding program. These horses are truly born to buck, and the horses that they have at the Calgary Stampede have certainly embodied some of the greatest horses of all time. And we want to talk about one of those horses in particular. I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole, guys, for the last couple weeks, but I'm lucky I just picked one horse that I want to talk about from the Calgary Stampede, Disco Party, and we want to talk a little bit about the lineage of this great horse. Of course, the horse has been lighting things up lately. They just won the short round at the Ponoka Stampede on him. He has won each and everywhere he goes, but there's generations of bucking horsepower behind this horse. He started out as an embryo baby. He was a transfer, and that one tiny little embryo had generations of great bucking horses and great stock contractors behind him. So bear with me for a second, because we're going to go through the lineage, starting with a great father, the sire, Graded Coconut from the Calgary Stampede. Tilden, I know this is a horse that you know very well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the greatest bucking horse of all time as far as I'm concerned. I was lucky enough to still be riding when he was bucking, and I got to get on him twice. I got on him once in Ellensburg and tried everything I knew how to do to get him rode, and he threw me right off pretty easy. And the next time I got on him was at Ponoka, and Rod Hay actually helped me on him. It was kind of a funny story. He comes up, he's like, hey, do you mind if I cup his eye? Because he leaves there real hard and would jump down the gate. And he's like, I think you ought to get back under your rigging and just kind of sit there for a second before you nod. And, like, had this whole plan. I'm like, well, whatever I did last time didn't work, so let's try it, you know. And it worked out pretty good that day. That was one of my proudest moments in rodeo.
And when we talk about the generations of horsepower behind Disco Party, it doesn't just end with the great Grated Coconut. Of course, 6 times he was named PRCA Bareback Horse of the Year, but he's got a mother that is no stranger to winning circles herself. Lunatic Party from Outlaw Buckers bucked at the National Finals Rodeo 13 times. She had huge longevity in her career too. Even at the end of her career, she was the one you wanted to draw. You could be a good strong 85 all day long on her all the way through her career. Outlaw Buckers tells me too, she's out there babysitting all of the babies right now, so living the good life. But then if you go even further down the line, I think it's really interesting to see her lineage. She is by Lunatic Fringe from Birch Rodeo out of War Party, and this horse really doesn't have the resume. She was a sweetheart that Sankey's, when they owned, used to bring them to rodeos for young Wade Sankey to get the chance to get on an exhibition horse. So an absolute sweetheart that was bred to a then 2-year-old Lunatic Fringe, and now we see exactly what came from those bloodlines here. Even if we look at the competitive cousins for Disco Party, you've got Get Smart, who's also by Wyatt Earp for Northcott Rodeo. Get Smart is a great Moxa horse, a true legend north and south of the border. Lunatic from Hell and Womanizer are both by Lunatic Fringe. And I just think, Tilden, it's amazing to see a horse that has come together with so many generations, about a half a dozen stock contractors behind him to create what is now Disco Party.
Yeah, it's amazing what these stock contractors, not just the Calgary Stampede, but across the board have done over the last 17 years of my career. The horsepower has gone through the roof, and it's so exciting to see.
And he's not the only one that we're looking out for today, too.
Yeah, no doubt. There's so many good horses out today. This is going to be fun watching.
Well, we got to look at the rest of the events today. We got rodeo picks coming up. I want to go around the horn here really quick. One pick, top guy. I'm going to guess is Riley Webb. You were really eager to say his name earlier. Is it Riley Webb?
Will Loomis.
Oh, okay. Will Loomis. You're going to pick steer wrestling. Too predictable. Katie, what about you?
I'm going to hop into the bronc riding. Wyatt Casper has Exotic Warrior. I was visiting with Janie Johnson last night. She's excited about that one, so I'm going to go with Janie.
Yeah, Janie's the best go-to on Saddle Bronc picks. But I'm going to go with Sam Peterson on Pretty Woman. I think this is going to be exciting. I think he's going to do something big today.
Predictable.
Well, I don't even know who I'm going to pick, but there's no time anyway, because it is rodeo time. It is Showdown Sunday. We're going to give it over to Jeff and Butch to take us away. Thank you so much. We're going to see you at Cheyenne for our next stop. Don't go anywhere. This is Rodeo Live presented by Track Supply. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.